The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
So thank you very much and welcome back to Generations Radio. I'm Percy here every weekend for you guys, and thanks for listening in. I'll tell you, almost every day I'll get to somebody who goes, hey, I listened to your radio show. And I appreciate that. And in fact, I was talking to my longtime clients, friends of mine, Lorraine there. And she's, yeah, listen, I watch a TV show too. I said, great. So thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget, our website has all our past shows. We archive all of them. And so our TV show and our radio show is right there. You can look at all the past magazines. We archive all the past magazines on our website. So generations808.com. We also have a Facebook page. Very soon, Instagram page as well. So thank you very much, and Happy New Year to everybody. 2018, I'll tell you, I can still remember when I was 18, let alone 2018. I'm going to be 58 pretty soon. But we all age, and I was telling somebody this morning, Michelle, that, hey, we're all going to age. We're all going to go through issues. At some point down the road, if you have chronic disease, it's going to get worse. It's going to be harder to live. But that's what we do at Generations Magazine. We try to provide as much resources as possible. And you can always call us or email us, go to our website, ask for information. We don't get paid to refer anybody out, so it's all generic and most of the people are all the people in the magazine are experts in their field. And so one of the people that we've had on the show before we had some of the managers and workers at Access Lifts of Hawaii. So when Pohai called me up the other day, he goes, oh yeah, we want to get the owner involved on the radio show. I said, whoa. So today we have Gino here from Access Lifts Hawaii. Gardine?
Yes, sir.
Is that how you pronounce it? Gardine?
Yes, sir.
Is that French?
Yes, French.
Oh, he's really French.
Yeah, he's a
But
French
then
name.
didn't you say your grandfather or father was
it's
from
from
Samoa?
the island. It's from Samoa. The name is passed down through Samoa.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's British, French people mixed there with Polynesians. Yeah.
So you part Samoan?
Yeah, a little bit
Really?
Scotia.
I was going to say, you don't look...
I'm handsome this way. Can't help it. I'm so gorgeous.
But, we were talking, and you're an old-time friend of Mike Buck.
Yeah, brother Mike and I go
Wow.
way, 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 many, many years.
How about a day?
30 years. How about a day?
Really?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and we've worked together on different programs about accessibility and providing lifts for people in Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we go way back. So Mike and I have done some talks.
Well, every Friday morning about 6:35, if you're up,
Yeah.
I do a promo and I go on the show and we talk about the weekend show. So on Friday morning, I'll be talking about Gino, his buddy, and
Hey.
Access Lifts. So every weekend we have a show. Saturdays from 5 to 6,
Okay.
Sundays from 3 to 4 on AM 690 here. But Gino, you know, I love your history, and you can talk, which is great. The more talking you talk, the less I talk. So better yet. But it's really about
Yeah.
part of the
Okay.
magazine. People see all our partners in the magazine, but we want our audience, and a lot of our audience. I'll be honest with you, you're talking to baby boomers.
Yes.
They're looking for information for their parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike has a big following of baby boomers. But anyway, so we always want experts in the field, but we also want our audience to know who you are.
Yeah.
How well you're doing. And really, we want to get down to the brass tacks. We want to know exactly how to find a company. We want to know what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
We don't want no sales pitch. We want how to install it. I don't know if anybody ever takes it away or when they sell the house. But anyway, Gino, give us a little bit of background. You told me you work for the elevators company?
Well, let me start. There's so much history in this country and other countries around the world about transportation. If we look at the word transportation, we're talking about if we're doing individuals. Can you imagine before the ADA came in? This is before people finally said, hey, like our president said in 1959, Eisenhower said, let's take a look at people who are physically challenged. So if we go back in history and time, Otis Elevator Company was one of the first elevator companies that was actually developing, and their main target was transportation, taking a person from one level to another level, or to go from one position to another position. And that at that time didn't include, there was just for the general public. And so Otis Elevator and a number of companies started to develop pieces of equipment, which called elevators. And then they developed escalators and developed freight lifts and things. So the history, if we start way back, the history of transportation for human beings started 100 years ago, way back. In fact, the first elevators were water powered, if you want to know. Anyway, I'll just give you guys a little
you're
history.
Like an expert on transportation.
I am. I'm an expert. Because if you think, I've been in the industry, I started in 1966, started with Otis Elevator Company, and I've continued all these years. So I've been in the industry for 50-something years. So
you started with regular elevators.
I started off with Otis Elevator Company. I came out of the military, got out of the Army, the Vietnam time. Came out, I got out in 1966 in January, and I decided to join Otis Elevator Company. So I was an employee there from 15 to 20 years, give or take. And also I worked for Montgomery Elevator Company, because in those days, sometimes we run out of work, and sometimes we get offered another job at one of the other elevator companies. Many of us, way back, old timers, they call us guys, we've worked for some different elevator companies. But my primary work was with Otis and Montgomery Elevator Company.
So were you like a mechanic or a manager?
Yeah.
Or?
After a couple of years, the state of Hawaii requires us to have a license if we're going to install. They want to make sure that the people who are installing these elevators and escalators, they have the knowledge, they have the experience, and they're doing a 100% job. Perfect. And so I started off as an installer, and I installed many, many elevators and escalators in the state of Hawaii. And, just to show you that the concerns are, for example, if you install an elevator, especially in a commercial building, state of Hawaii has a department, elevator inspection office, and they come in and they inspect it to make sure we do a perfect job.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you remember now, you or your family members or a child of yours is riding this elevator. You certainly want it to start and end in a safe
What did you
travel.
see that story in the news about that lady? This lady that was in a wheelchair, going down an escalator. She fell. She was waiting for help, and nobody came. Yeah. She just went on her own, head first down, and I believe she passed away.
Yeah,
she died from that.
There's been a number of injuries. I will share with you too later on the show that there's been industries even in accessibility equipment, and one of the main reasons is because they've been installed inappropriately by unlicensed or certified people in the state and other states around our country here. Anyway, so we are governed by the states and federal governments. They have guidelines that we, like for me, I'm an elevator contractor, no different than Otis or Montgomery or Schindler or anybody else in town. Right? We all govern, and we have guidelines that we have to follow. There are federal guidelines, and there are codes, and also there's standards like NZ 17.1 are guidelines.
What is ANSI?
ANSI is the national association that was put together. This actually started, believe it or not, remember I mentioned Truman. This started in 1959. He put a group of people together because he wanted to address, for some reason, we're not addressing people who are physically challenged. Those days, they used to use the word cripple.
Right.
The crippled adults and the crippled children. Can you imagine that?
Right.
You can't use that now. You can't use that language now because it's disrespectful.
Well, you mentioned the ADA. You
Yeah.
have to tell people what that is, what that stands for.
Yeah. The ADA is it's sort of a guideline that people use to address vertical transportation, incline transportation in the industry.
Yes, it's the American Disabilities Act.
Yes, sir.
I'm not too sure what year that was.
And that went that started off.
2010, I think. Or
What
was it
happened?
earlier than that?
Yeah, it started in 1959. The whole process started.
Right.
And by 1972, HUD got involved. The housing administration,
Right.
they got involved. And then it continued on. So what happened
You
was,
mentioned Eisenhower too, right?
yeah,
He's the
imagine
one that
he's
really
the
got-
first guy in 1959, he addressed it. And he went to the Congress and he said, I want to address this because
Wow. Well, he was
people,
handicapped.
yeah.
What did he have? Polio or something?
Yeah. And he was, he wanted the general public to not suffer because can you imagine you go to a restaurant and you can't get up the stairs and they say, oh, come in the back. We take you in the back with a little elevator or something. It's kind of disrespectful, right? What happened is people started seeing themselves as second-class citizens. So they felt that way. And so as the word got around and as time moved on, technology moves on, I think that's when the president decided to start addressing it. And then there were committees formed, many committees, and through the years. Now, can you imagine? It started in 1959. By 1970, 1976, the codes were starting to come into play, but they weren't enforced. So by 1992, 1990, 1992, they already had the bills already passed, and then they had to address not only transportation, which is very interesting, but they had to address doors, different types of facilities, restrooms, all these accommodations, yeah?
We're here with Gino Gardine from Access Lifts. Gino, give us some of the things that you do,
Okay,
and some of the different types of products.
okay. Well, one of the things, Access Lifts Hawaii's been in business from 1989, and when we started the company, we wanted to address the ADA issues that are going on in Hawaii. So Americans with disabilities. So what we did was, through my education, through the industry, the elevator industry, and the experience I had, I took that and I started to research all the different types of elevator-related equipment that was related to ADA, and there were a number of them. And back in the early 1990s, the equipment was friendly but not friendly enough. The actual mechanisms of the equipment was improving, and so through the years, they went from 1 to 3 or 4 different generations. They kept improving the lifts so they'd be more and more friendly. So what we started off doing was chair lifts. So we provided chair lifts in people's homes so they could get a chairlift up a stairwell, either a straight stairwell or a curved stairwell. And then we were able to put lifts and stairs outdoor. So we did indoor and outdoor stair lifts where people sit on them and they control it independently and they can go up and down the stairs in and out of their homes or different types of facilities. The other thing we started to address was vertical platform lifts because a lot of people who was confined to wheelchairs weren't able to get up to their second or third levels. So we started to develop and started to install chair lifts. There were vertically inclined platform lifts. So that was another area to address ADA. The other areas was also incline platform lifts, where somebody could take a stairwell and make it accessible, where they take a platform folds out, a person would roll on it with their wheelchair, and they could travel to other landings, 3 or 4 landings, even 5. So we addressed platform lifts too. The other things we did a number of, through the years, we did a lot of ramp systems in our elementary schools and other facilities around Hawaii. So we provided ramp systems. So there are a number of things we did. We also decided that we wanted to perform elevator systems like dumb waiters. So we've installed many dumb waiters in restaurants, especially restaurants, and a number of dumb waiters in homes. This delivers food. It's a small little elevator that can go up to 3 or 4, even 5 stops, and they can deliver food or groceries or hardware or tools or any sorts of things that people need to deliver from one level to another level. So we've done a number of different types of accessibility and elevator type systems. So that's sort of what we started off doing, and now we've expanded. We do a lot of resident elevators because we're finding that people, if it's affordable and if their properties is allowable, that we're able to install resident elevators, and some of them go up. I've done them up to about four or five stops in some of the homes
In a house?
in people's homes. Yeah.
Not to stop you, but what was the elevator cost like per floor? Because don't you have to have a hole in your house, right? Or it'd be an external one.
Well, what happens is for example, let's just say you want an elevator in your home. I would come out there with my salesman. We'd take a look at the property and we'd analyze what would the best location would be and what would be feasible for you. The other things we look at is how many stops, how many floors, and we'd look at what are your needs? What is the needs for? What is the elevator for? It's really important. And so we take those things in consideration, and then we come up with an idea. Now, some people's homes are only 2 stops, some are 3, some are 4 stops. It all depends on the needs, right? And then what we do is there are a number of elevators that we can do. There's about 4 or 5 companies that we work with home elevators. And so we take this information, we put it together, and we give a proposal. And the proposals consist of the type of elevator cab you want. What's the interior, what's the exterior. We look at if it's a hydraulic or a cable drum elevator. We look at the location and what kind of things has to be done. So our proposal for an elevator, the cost, it varies. So it's hard for me to say. I would have to look at that, come up with a proposal. Now, the other consideration is, which is really important, that we involve architects. We need to work with people because these people usually have to get a permit because a shaftway needs to be built. So they'll build it, and that a little different from us. That people contract, they set up with a licensed contractor to go in and they build a shaftway, install the doors, and we install the elevator, all the machinery, all the pump systems, all the cable, everything that goes with the elevator.
So you guys basically the installer of the elevators, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't do any design. You have to pull the permit, or is like a contractor or someone have to pull the permit?
The permits are pulled by the general contractor. Now, one of the things I should say to you, let's say if I went into your home and I said, well, the possibilities are really slim here, but I can still provide you accessibility.
Oh, okay.
And I say
there's no room or something?
Sometimes there's no room. Sometimes we end up putting it outside of the home.
But if you put it outside, you have to enclose it, right?
Yes, sir. But there's another way that we do it. We do a vertical platform lift, and a vertical platform comes in different styles. For example, let's just say you wanted to put something outdoor. We'd be able to put an outdoor vertical lift with an enclosure with a dome on the top and cover. So you'll be able to you still have access to your home outside. So you can use vertical lifts indoors and outdoors. So sometimes people don't need an elevator. They can bring their costs down more efficiently, and they can go ahead and install a vertical platform lift versus a resident elevator. There are some
people have to look at the space they have,
Yes.
and but the cost as well.
Yes.
Because I've been in finance for 28 years now, and when people do the renovations of the house, I don't get involved in selling the house, but when you sell the house, does it help or hurt?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of these people, these things do happen, and so it opens the market for people to buy the home, because now you're opening it for people who are physically challenged. Now they can buy the house and get in and out of the home. So that's a great advantage that people have, yeah? And the price of the home, the value does go up. If you have an elevator in your home or a lift system, value goes up.
Well, I'm here. While you're talking, Gino, I've been kind of sneaking around here and looking at your website.
Yeah.
And I understand. I kind of understand because I've been in real estate for half my life now. But I wanted. I was like, God, I hope Gino has some pictures, and you do.
Yeah,
your website's great. You got a lot of great pictures of, these portable ramps that I think are important. That's probably the first step, right? The
Yes.
little ramps.
Yes.
Because now, I drive around town quite a bit, and I notice houses that have
Lifts.
the ramps for the
Oh,
wheelchair.
yeah. Yes.
And I don't know if you can, maybe on the second half of the show you can tell me about permits, because
Okay.
I heard that you have to have a permit for that, right? For a ramp.
No, not in a residential.
Not in a residential. I thought after a certain height limit, there is.
No. If you're talking about heights, well, if you're talking about permitting, if you're doing anything in a commercial building, the state of Hawaii
Yeah.
requires.
Oh yeah, no, but like a
permitting.
residential house, they
But
have it outside the
residential,
house.
no, you don't need a permit for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Somebody else told me you did.
No.
Anything above, I think, 18 inches or something like that,
No.
and then because you have to have the right width, then you have to have proper rails, because
Yes.
somebody's got a couple guys, they
Yes.
kind of, hey, my friend,
Absolutely.
help me out, buy some 2x4s. No, my auntie only 100 pounds. Don't even
Yeah,
worry about
yeah.
stability.
Yeah, that's one of the problems we have in Hawaii, because people just
Wing it.
wing it. And what happens is people don't realize, but they're jeopardizing the family members. Absolutely.
That's why I'm kind of surprised they don't have permits. Okay, then again, we don't have permits for these what do you call those big houses now?
Yeah.
What do you go to monster houses?
Yeah,
Well, they're
yeah.
gonna fix that, hopefully. I mean, I get where they're coming from, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on,
Yeah.
since you've been in this kind of field so long. But I'm kind of surprised there's no permit requirements for building a ramp. I see a lot of that nowadays.
Yeah, the state of Hawaii stays out of that unless it's in a commercial building. Then you have to apply. But when it comes to residential, it's a gray area. State of Hawaii, even elevator inspection office, it's out of their territory, and so
Really?
they don't address it. That's part of the problems that we're having with other companies installing different types of equipment. They're not licensed, they're not insured. So it's something that needs to be addressed. Absolutely. But yeah, you don't need. But the safety, the most important thing, Access Lifts of Hawaii, one of the most important things we do is, our number one thing is address safety. If I'm going to put a piece of equipment in somebody's home or in a commercial building, the number one thing is safety. That's why I always ask, who's the lifts for? And who is this lift serving? Not you, the son or the daughter. It's usually the mother or grandmother or somebody.
Right.
So I always ask, and I'm not bashful. I go, can I ask what their disability is? Are
you
they in a
have to.
wheelchair?
You have to
Some
ask
people don't. Well, we do. We address that. We want to make sure that the person that is using it, we want to provide the best piece of equipment and the safest one for them. It's very, very important.
But again, like I said, the cost factor.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it cost? $10,000, $20,000, $40,000.
Oh no, many of the lifts cost much less than that. Some started about anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, depending on the travel and depending on the location, indoor and outdoor. So some of the lifts can start as low as $3,000 or $4,000, and they can go up. So it all depends. That's why it's really important that we take a look. And the other thing we do, which is really important, when we do a site visit, and they say we want to make this stairwell accessible, and so I say, is there any other stairwells? And we look around, and sure enough, there's usually another stairwell that's more cost efficient and easier to install equipment in. So sometimes the homeowners don't know. That's why it's really important for us to come out and take a look, talk with them, and see who the lifts are for.
What are some of the problems that people have when they cannot put a lift in there besides the cost? Are there a problem, like maybe it's an older house, single wall, or something like that?
There's a number of lifts. You can talk about elevators and lifts and stuff. Let's take a chair lift, a simpler one. Something like a chair lift, we go up and down the stairs. Our main concern would be structural. What was the stairs made of? That's number one. So that's
What is it made of?
A lot of our stairs in Hawaii is made out of wood. We got a lot of wooden stairs, right? And some of them are older stairs. So the integrity of the wood, and we look at that, and we make suggestions. Bring a contractor in and redo the stairs or reinforce the stairs again, and then we're allowed to install a lift.
So you don't
on
do
it.
that kind of work.
No, we don't do it. We always we want them to get a licensed contractor to do that. It's very important. So we don't do that. We basically design, install, service, and repair all our lifts. And that's for life now. These people, we've had people for 30 years, customers, been at this, and they're lifetime partners with us. So
I better start calling you Mr. Transportation. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No, I went to your website and I give you a lot of credit, Gino. Even if you go to accessliftshawaii.com, look under services. You even put other people, companies here.
Yes.
Like you have here, please note, Access Lifts does not supply, support, or maintain vehicle lifts.
yes,
But he lists options of
Yes.
different people that
That do
families
it.
can call for vehicle lifts. So I give you a lot of credit because a lot
and
of
these
companies
people
won't do
we
that.
trust now, so that we're not we don't want to
Yeah,
lead
they better
people-
trust you. Gino said.
and we have confidence in these people. We know who they are, and we know the work that they do. So we have confidence in them, and so we want them to do the. We encourage people to go to them. Absolutely.
I give you a lot of credit for that because a lot of companies won't put other companies in there. Soda Home is a partner with ours as well in the Generations magazine. We've been trying to get them on our radio show and TV show, but they're so busy.
Yeah.
It's funny how as everybody gets older,
Yes.
these really issues of mobility is becoming prevalent and a
Yes.
very common conversation now. Yeah.
Yes, it is, and it's becoming such an important way of life for us now, because we're all getting older. That's something we cannot stop. It's one of the blessings that or curse that we inherit. We are getting older. Physically, we're breaking down. Not all of us is as strong as others, and some of us have injuries. We sustain injuries, fall off a ladder, fall down the stairs, and so. We always try to encourage people. When we do the shows of the BIA, we're members of the BIA, and a number of things. When we do the shows for the elderly, Kaiser has one. We go to different places and do shows. Even on the Marine base, on the bases, all the different bases, we do shows. And we encourage people because aging people, their bodies are changing, their physical conditions are changing, their abilities are changing. And so we try to encourage people. Let's do something. If you're having a difficult time walking up the stairs or walking down the stairs, maybe we should consider, or the family should consider, that we should put a chairlift. And the reason I say that is because through the years, our experience, 30 years of this, we have put lifts in, all sorts of lifts, vertical and chair lifts especially, where people have fallen down their stairs. And it's too late.
I have a family friend that
yeah,
did that.
and it's not too late. But what we try to do is try to encourage them to do something in their home so they can get from the upper levels to the lower levels safely. And that's why chair lifts and vertical lifts are just an essential part of life now. And it's really, really important. Save them from serious injuries.
Yep. Well, Gino, we're here with Gino Gardine from Access Lifts Hawaii. He's the man for transportation in Hawaii, especially in your home. So anyway, we're going to take a short break. Now, Gino, I know you love to talk, so we can still that's only half the show. So anyway, Access Lifts Hawaii, if you want to give them a call, I'll give you the number right now. It's 955-4387. You're right in town.
Yeah, right there on Yonge Street.
Oh, good for you. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
We will be right back with Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Did you know residential care homes offer a family-oriented atmosphere? At Caregivers Heart Hawaii, our kupuna become part of the family. The smaller environment allows for more personal attention. For example, there's no waiting to go to the bathroom compared to other long-term care options. The patient-to-caregiver ratio is smaller and help is faster. Over time, residential care homes are less expensive compared to other long-term care options. Our caregivers are experienced and enjoy what they do, and all homes are ADA approved. Don't feel stressed and overwhelmed or try to do this alone. Aloha, I am Ku'unani Demonte with Caregivers Heart Hawaii. Let us help you with all your care home placement needs. Caregivers Heart Hawaii has knowledge and experience. For a free consultation and to learn more about us, go to caregivershearthawaii.com, where treating kupuna like family is our business.
When you feel like Vegas, there's just one place to stay. Grab a drink at the Holo Holo Bar. There's just one place to play. We got a fresh, hot look, a new sports book. We got those local meals, just like Auntie cooks. Aloha spoken here.
Check out the Cow's new renovated look and see why the Cow is Hawaii's favorite place in Vegas to stay and play.
Moon Physical Therapy is here to help you back to recovery. Moon Physical Therapy is located on Ward Avenue across from Sports Authority. Physician prescribed for motor vehicle accidents, workman's comp, or that body pain that comes from rushing to play without warming up. Also event cardiopulmonary rehabilitation with our one-on-one patient care. Moon's Aquatherapy heated endless pool allows for low-impact exercise with less pain on land. We will give you the right exercises to get you back to health. Ask your doctor to prescribe Moon Physical Therapy. Moon Physical Therapy. We achieve results.
If you're new to Medicare, we can help you work your way through all the questions, the details, and the headaches. Generations TV has gathered experts in the field to help you find the answers. This is Navigating Medicare.
Hi, I'm back again. This is Ed speaking on Medicare Hits.
A lot of people may not realize that they may qualify for extra financial assistance to help pay for their premiums and prescription drug costs, depending on their income and their total assets. These savings can be especially helpful for seniors who are on a fixed income.
Find out if you qualify. Call us.
Helping you work your way through the confusion. Navigating Medicare. Brought to you today by Financial Benefits Insurance, serving the entire state of Hawaii from the corner of Pi'ikoi and Kapiolani in Honolulu.
Oahu's newest senior living community, Ilima at Lehano, is now open in the heart of Kapolei. Within this beautiful new community, offering independent living, assisted living, and memory care, you will experience a feeling of ohana that provides a sense of community and peace of mind for our kupuna. A range of spacious apartment styles are available, from large studios to spacious 1 and 2 bedroom plans, most with a large private lanai. Be one of the first to call Ilima your home. Visit ilimaatLehano.com or call 674-8022.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Vacations Hawaii offers weekly 4 and 5 night Honolulu to Vegas packages, which include 3 meals daily from $6.99. Stay at Hawaii's favorite casinos, California, Fremont, Main Street Station, and Orleans Hotel. Vacations Hawaii will get you there in comfort on deluxe wide-body 767 planes with complimentary in-flight hot meal service. Vacations Hawaii's frequent flyer program gives you future travel discounts and credits. So if you're ready to win big, call Vacations Hawaii at 591-4777 or visit PointVacationsHawaii.com.
Hi, I'm Margaret Wong with the Copeland Insurance Group. Let us be your Medicare resource throughout the year. We have agents throughout the islands to be of assistance to you. So if you have Medicare questions, we have the answers. Call us at 808-591-4877. Again, 808-591-4877. Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you.
Today, more than ever, we local people are living longer than any other state in the Union, with more seniors, baby boomers, and caregivers. Generations Radio promotes the importance to be proactive as we all age. The radio team will focus on issues facing our seniors and their families, finding resources to navigate healthy aging along with financial, legal, and caregiving information. So join Percy Ihara from 5 until 6 each Saturday, right here on AM 690, The Answer.
591-4777. Shoot-a-doo-wah. Who's got the best deals in Vegas around? Who's got the shoot-a-doo? Call 591-4777 today. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Good luck, we go play. 591-4777 today. Good luck. We go play.
Complete 4 and 5 night packages from $6.99. Vacations Hawaii, your favorite connection to Vegas.
Focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
So welcome back to Generations Radio. Thank you very much for hanging in there. If you were listening to the first part of the show, I'll tell you missed a lot if you missed the first part of the show. But don't forget, a week from now, you can go on our website, generations808.com, and you get to talk to the man, the transportation man for the houses, Gino Gardine from Access Lifts Hawaii. But this issue that's out now, the December-January issue, featuring 5 different decades of professionals in the caregiving field, talking about what they're experiencing. From Mapu, who's our 20-something-old millennial who's been doing caregiving for almost 6 years. He's a certified caregiving trainer for Alzheimer's, specifically dementia patients. Then we have Jackie Bolin, who works for ARP. She does more workshops than anybody I know in this state on aging. If you're not a member of ARP, you should really join because you have great magazines and they have great workshops. Great. Next in line we had here is Jerry Correa, head of St. Francis Kupuna Village out there. I did a tour of there a couple of months ago, and wow, they are ahead of the game. That's the future. It's all big campus of all different levels of care, and so thanks to Jerry. Then we have Chris Ridley. Unfortunately, she relocated to the mainland, dealing with family, as we all do. Yeah. And so she left the Big Island. And the last we have our, I would say, the father figure, if you can use those words, for aging in Hawaii, Mr. Tony Lunzer, retired emeritus Professor Tony Lunzer from UH, who was the first Center on Aging director in the 70s and 80s. And he's still very active to this day. He was on our radio show, last month. Still alive and kicking and keep on going, and still very opinionated and really pushes for caregiving. And guys, that's the focus for 2018 is caregiving,
absolutely,
taking care of our parents. Yeah. And that's why we have Mr. Transportation. We should, what should I call it? Mr. Access, Mr. Lift here for Hawaii.
Access.
Gino Gardine.
Mr. Accessibility.
And not only in Hawaii.
Yes.
I heard you mentioned in a break that you're doing things in Canada and different Tahiti. And
because a lot of our manufacturers we got one manufacturer in Canada. We go there and have done a number of incline elevators on that go down the cliffs or go down to the beach. So I've done a number of that. So right now, and in the past few years, we have done a number of installations in Samoa. And so right now we've got contracts for Rarotonga. We're putting together something right now for Tahiti. And we already have a lift going into one of the colleges in Samoa. So we'll be doing a lot of travel in the South Pacifics. We're not only in Hawaii, but we also serve in the other South Pacific islands.
And you told me you also do all the neighbor islands as well.
We do all the neighbor islands. We've got accessibility equipment up in Mauna Kea.
Mauna Kea?
Up in Mauna Kea.
Wow.
Way up there. We've also got... in Haleakala, if you think that's incredible, even in Haleakala, there's a military facility there,
right?
And we've made that accessible. Also, we've got lifts in almost most of the hotels in Waikiki that was unable to make their properties accessible. So we're in there. We're working on a number of projects right now in Waikiki. So we've been all over the islands. We have many lifts in residential lifts in the Big Island, Boat Hilo and Kona, all over the Big Island. And we're all over Kauai. Kauai is another popular area that we serve. Yeah. And the schools, and not to mention, majority of the schools in Hawaii, we've made them accessible for kids. Because you do,
besides residential, you do commercial as well.
We do a lot of commercial. Libraries, we've put miniature elevators in like Kamiki Library, different libraries in the state of Hawaii, where the state of Hawaii allows us to put something that's going to serve only accessibility. We're allowed to put some resident elevators in some of these properties, but they all have to be tested by the state of Hawaii codes and meet and comply with all the laws. So we've been everywhere. Yes.
So you definitely know. So what are families? How do people get a hold of you? Do they see you at a BIA event? That's the Building Industry Association, or I know you've been to some of our workshops.
Yes.
But what's the typical process?
Well, what we're finding now that so I understand from Puai, who's the manager of my office, my daughter, she manages, and we look at advertising as a very important thing. And so the areas of advertising, one is the internet is really important. People are going on the internet.
Well, your website is really good. It's got a lot of great information there. I have to give you guys a lot of credit.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it.
AccessLiftHawaii.com.
Thanks to my daughter Puhai and an individual she's working with right now. And so we do the yellow pages. We try to reach out.
We
still do the
It's like the only company that still does it.
After 30 years, we still do the yellow pages. And then we try to do little commercials. And, of course, the magazine's Generations.
Yeah, well, we got to get you on our TV show. You're a great resource for our families out there.
Absolutely.
But, so when they call you, what are some of the typical questions,
Well, the first things we ask is when they call. First, we get their names, who they are, and where they are. And they ask, what is the purpose of this call? My parent or I, generally not I, it's usually a parent or an associate or somebody who's having difficulties getting in and out of their homes, if it's a residential call, or if it's a commercial one, then our commercial guys, we have sales guys that handle the commercial one, and they address the commercial. And many, many, many contractors around the islands call us because many of them know us. They've been working with us for 30 years. So then the commercial is a completely different approach than a residential. Residential could be a chair lift, it could be a vertical lift, and it can be a resident elevator. It would be a ramp system. So the first thing we do is, what is the call for? Who's the lift for? What are you thinking about? And then the next thing we do is, can we make a site visit? Which is probably the most important thing, is we do a site visit, and when one of our sales guys go there, or even me, I go to site visits and I check out the situation, and then at that time we look
site
at
visit is probably the most important.
Because a lot of our customers, it's not that they just don't know about equipment. They just have an idea, maybe an elevator, and they don't need it. So we look at what is needed, and we can downsize and make it more cost efficient for them. So they can put a piece of equipment that works well for the person who needs it. So you don't need an elevator sometimes, or you don't need a vertical lift. We put something more cost efficient and something that's going to work safely for that person.
Gino, you say you're doing stuff in Canada and Tahiti like that. Your staff they got to be certified and trained, huh?
Yeah, they're certified and trained.
Be, at least. I know I met Alex before.
Yeah, you met Alex.
Yeah, Alex, good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's one of our sales guys. Now, part of our program here at Access of Hawaii, our technicians need to be certified and trained. Absolutely, you can't be putting equipment in that people ride, and safely. You got to make sure that thing is
life in your hands.
That's your life. When we've known that in other parts of the United States, some injuries have happened because people put in inappropriate equipment that's not safe, and they're not durable, and they're not certified by the government. The federal government has to certify these things. All our equipment
Plus
is
the state's got to certify you too, right?
Absolutely.
Do they do an inspection later on?
Not on residential, all on commercial. But absolutely, equipment has to be certified by the federal government, and it has to meet these standards. They have to. So our technicians occasionally have to fly to Canada, or they fly to other parts of the United States at the manufacturing, and they get trained and recertified again. And one of the reasons
costly for you, though.
Oh, it is costly, but it's like people think, this lift costs a little bit, but when people don't look at the cost and trained, certified technicians, you got to fly them every 3 years or every 2 years. You have to fly them and recertify them. It's a big cost.
Absolutely.
And then of course, just running a contracting company takes a lot of energy. Everything has to be done correctly. We watch all the guidelines. We're regulated, so we have to constantly keep up with all the things that we have to keep up with, the codes and everything.
I can imagine.
So our technicians are certified and trained all the time, and it's very, very important. It's an important part of us, what we do at Access List of Hawaii.
But I like your website, but one of the things one of the reasons why I'm glad Pohai called me about is that we've been hearing complaints about companies that are not certified, or companies that didn't complete the job, took money up front.
Yes.
So can you address that? Do they have to be certified, or do they have to be licensed, and they need bonded insurance?
I'll just give you a quick one. In 1989, a man, which I won't mention his name, from Rico, called me and asked me to come in. And I went in and sat down with him, and he asked me, can I see your license? And I said, oh, certainly. So I pulled out my elevator mechanic's license, which I had for 28 years or 27 years. And he said, wow, that's great. Can I see your contractor's license? And I said, contractor's license? Well, now, I don't have that. And so he informed me in 1989, at the end of 1889, he says, State of Hawaii requires you to have a contractor's license. And I
If
go,
you're
oh,
installing-
really?
if you're installing
If-
lifts
If
and
you're
things.
installing lifts.
Oh.
If you're an electrician, he says, and they're gonna come wire your house. Don't you want them to be licensed? I go, I guess so, because people's houses burn down if there's just a bunch
Yeah.
of clowns.
Yeah.
And he said, plumbers, electricians. He says people need to be licensed. So, Mr. Gardine, you need to be licensed. And so I immediately, because of all the years of experience, I worked as a foreman, as a supervisor in the elevator industry, besides a mechanic. Because of those things, I qualified. Within a 10-year period, you have to have 6 years of foreman or supervisory position. And I got it, so I went to the state of Hawaii, applied, and I got my
Contractor
okay to take my license. And I took my test, and I passed it with flying colors. And from 1990, I was a certified contractor, elevator contractor. So here we are. But
I appreciate your honesty, first of all,
Yeah.
Gino, for mentioning that.
Certainly. And one of the things is, it troubles me because today, right now, here today, there are a number of companies around Honolulu and the other islands that are installing chair lifts and vertical lifts and stuff. They're uncertified. They're not licensed. Oh my gosh, a lot of them don't have insurance, workman comp. They're just guys working out of their trucks or out of their homes, which the state of Hawaii doesn't allow anyway. You have to have a place of business.
Well, it could be a handyman.
You can be a handyman, but you have to have a place. If you're a handyman, the laws, the Hawaii states that if you do $1,000 work as a handyman,
Right.
that's all materials, supplies, labor, everything has to be under $1,000. Once that person goes over $1,000, the state of Hawaii requires that person to be a licensed contractor.
Right.
So we have a problem here in Hawaii, and I've been trying to address it, and I'm working with RICO and stuff. It's been difficult. It hasn't been. I've been working a number of years with them, and it's very difficult. So that's going on. I would say to the people out there, please, if somebody comes and you need a lift of some sort, notify the state and say, ask them if this person is a licensed contractor. If you're not sure, give me a call, Access to Hawaii, and I'd be more than happy to.
Ask for Gino.
Yeah, ask for Gino.
So what you got to ask for? You got to ask for their contractor's license?
Yes, sir.
And then you ask
The name and location and their phone number.
and insurance, stuff like that.
Insurance. And ask them, if they're a licensed contractor, I'm sure and they carry a license, ask them to show you the license.
Do they have to show the card?
They have to show the card. Now, I don't know if you know this, but some of the contractors, like electricians and stuff, they have to carry. They have to carry.
Yeah,
and
I saw recently. I was somewhere. I saw that.
They have to show that they're licensed.
That's
contractor.
good.
Yeah, it's absolutely, because look, the bottom line here is safety, right? We want to put equipment that's going to be serving these people that is safe, reliable, and meets all the codes, the federal codes and the state codes. And if you got a bunch of guys running around here putting in bogus lifts, it's unsafe.
Well, it's
a real
that might break down.
It's a very concern for me, and I've been part of this industry for 50 years. I belong to the NAAC, National Association for Elevator Contractors. There's probably about 4,000 of us, and I've been on the board. I've served in many committees. We came up with educational programs. So I'm very involved in the industry as a whole.
I'll give you a lot of credit. So, real quick, I wanted to talk about the actual lifts.
Yes.
So on your website, you have residential chair lifts, dumb waiters, and evacu-track or stair track.
Yes.
How do you determine which one to use?
Well, it all depends on location. Like I say, we want to look. If it's a chair lift, we look at the location. We say we can put a chair lift indoor or outdoor. We make sure that the structures are right so we can attach. Because when we attach, we don't attach to the walls. Chair lifts attach to stairwells. People don't know that. People think
that? Try that again. What did you say?
The stair lifts, when they attach like a stair lift, they attach to the steps. They don't attach to the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
That's why the integrity of that stairs need to be good. And then sometimes we look at and we say, hey, maybe you need a vertical lift here. Maybe people are confined to a wheelchair. We go, for them to transfer from a wheelchair to a chair lift to go up the stairs is sometimes very difficult for them.
So the lift would actually carry the chair?
Yeah. So the
wheelchair.
Yeah, it carries the person in a wheelchair and an attendant. Capacity is like 700, 800 pound capacity. Oh, yeah.
Does it carry like my mom just got a scooter?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Okay. Absolutely. And people put refrigerators in there, so I'll just tell you.
What?
People put refrigerators in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You
people
know,
they'll
come
carry
on.
a refrigerator easily.
But I noticed on here you also have pool lifts.
Yes.
If somebody has a pool, I'm a big believer in aqua therapy.
Yes.
You know, I learned about aqua therapy about 3 years ago from a friend of mine. He said, you got to go to Moon Physical Therapy. I said, Moon Physical Therapy? They do physical therapy, yes, but they also do, besides land-based, they do aqua therapy. So I work out over there for my shoulders, and I had surgery, but I'm telling people that aqua therapy is the best. So when I find out somebody has a pool, yes, it may not be heated. Hopefully it is. If it's not, it's still get in there because mobility is a big part of life that you don't want to give up.
Yeah.
And if they can go in a pool, because I've seen people go to Julie Moon's pool and they're handicapped or they have from a stroke and they got to carry them into the pool.
Yes, absolutely.
2 months later on, they're walking into the pool.
Oh, yeah.
So because they're exercising and strengthening and just moving the joints.
Yeah.
But so these acts for the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that happened a number of years ago, the state of Hawaii contracted us to put a number of lifts in the public pools around the state of Hawaii. So we provided lifts in the pools. They need to be maintained, but if you don't maintain them, they don't
rust.
They rust, and there's certain rings, and there's certain things that keep some of them are water powered, some of them are air, some are battery. So there's a number of pool lifts that you can put in. But we do a lot of residential and we do commercial. We do a lot of the hotels, and we fly to the neighbor islands all the time installing these lifts. So we're to this. We know the lifts very well.
So, with all these aging, you must be finding more and more people needing your services, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The community, our community is aging, us older people, because I'm 71, and so. But unfortunately,
for 71, I'll tell you.
I keep my health, that's why, and I have good friends. But I will tell you that the community is aging, and we're seeing more and more people needing to have these services. And I will continue to encourage people to look for the proper people to install this equipment. We don't want injuries, because some of these injuries are fatal. They've been fatal, and we encourage people to get certified licensed people. And the community is growing, and people coming back from the war. There's so many different avenues that people are starting to need this equipment.
Yeah, as we all age, and hopefully you don't have a chronic disease, but I hope you don't fall down. In fact, I'll tell you a story I told you during the break that I knew a family that the mother lived up on a hill, and her driveway was like a 90-degree angle, or even worse. It was very, very steep, and driving up and down was a pain for me. I mean, we got to reverse out of that small driveway, but she had to take her trash down every day or twice a day from her driveway because the trash guy's not going to come up to their house, and she fell down once, twice, and the third time. But after I found out about the family, the first time she fell down, I said, you guys should really build a handrail, so she can hold on this and walk down the hill. Yeah. Nothing ever happened. Till after the third time she fell down, finally fractured her hip, and now she can't live there anymore.
Yeah. That's one of the big problems we have here. People, a lot of time we do the shows, we do many shows like BI and all of that. We do these shows and people come up and they say, they look at the lifts and things. We talk about them and it says, want to come up and look at it? Oh, I don't need it yet. And they're in a wheelchair. And I don't need it yet. And they're in a wheelchair already.
I'm in a wheelchair. I'm good.
And so what happens is, like the story you talked about, many of our customers have fallen downstairs and has consequently, the injuries are so severe. They break their neck, break their hips. Women break their hip all the time. I will tell you.
They don't recover from that a lot of times.
And some they don't. And so some of these injuries, they end up sometimes 24-hour service. Now the family is faced with this medical.
$15,000
this is horrible, and they end up fighting with each other because now they got to take care of tutu lady or mom or dad. So it's difficult. They're trying to make a living, and they have families. It's a very thing. So, but I always tell people, think about it. If they have a condition going on, and it's a possibility they're not steady, or their walking is difficult, and you've got stairs in your home, consider a lift of some sort so we can give them a healthy life through the years.
Well, those are great words to end our show on. Gino Gardine from Access Lifts Hawaii. If you want to get a hold of Gino or Pohai, the office manager, or Alex, one of the sales guys, 955-4387. I would really recommend you go to the accessliftshawaii.com website, set up an appointment, take a look at the pictures, get a consultation, get a site visit, because it's really important. So, Gino, I give you a lot of credit for all you do for Hawaii and our seniors as well. So,
thank you. Well, I'm very grateful to be here because we need a voice to get out to the people. They need to get out to the licensed contractors and do these equipment that they're putting in their homes for their family members safely. Yeah. But I really appreciate it. I'm very thankful to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyway, we're here every Saturday from 5 to 6, Sunday from 3 to 4 here on AM 690 The Answer. And aloha. This is 2018 is going to be a great year. Thank you, Gino. Aloha.